Hello all, Shadwell here, ready to talk about the next film in my collection, The Exorcist III: Legion from 1990. It's directed by William Peter Blatty and stars George C. Scott and Ed Flanders. Title confusion abounds with this film. Is it The Exorcist III: Legion? Is it Legion The Exorcist III? Or is it just The Exorcist III? Well, originally it was just The Exorcist III, I think, but I watched the director's cut, which just goes by Legion. For a long time, this director's cut material was thought lost. What was The Exorcist III was an okay film with a shoehorned exorcism at the ending that never seemed to sit right, and that's because it was never supposed to exist. There are so many differences between what William Peter Blatty originally intended Legion to be and what he was inevitably forced to compromise and film and release as The Exorcist III. First off, he hated the title because he felt it was too much a connection to Exorcist II the Heretic, and I don't blame him. You definitely want to distance yourself from that bullshit. But for almost 2 decades, we had to accept what we were given in The Exorcist III until video dailies were found in 2016, and the director's cut was more or less reassembled and released by Shout Factory. As I think I've already said, there are too many changes to talk about here, but the biggest one is the dual job of playing Father Karras by original actor Jason Miller, and replacement Brad Dourif is just done by Brad Dourif in this cut, because Jason Miller couldn't memorize the 2 monologues necessary for the character. He was recast, and so in Legion, it's just Brad Dourif, no Jason Miller to be seen intercut with the scenes of Brad Dourif. If I can accept that they had to recast Karras, absolutely had to, then I can get on board with this part of the director's cut. However, there's a part of me that likes seeing Jason Miller every once in a while in the Father Karras role as was done in The Exorcist III. But one thing I think we can all agree on is that the director's cut takes out the unnecessary exorcism scene at the end of the film for a much simpler ending that feels more right to the film we'd just seen. And although Legion has some scary parts, including the most pants-shittingly terrifying jump scare of all time, it's not traditionally a horror film. It has the scares required, but it's more contemplative is the best way I can explain it. There is some great character work in Legion, and you should see it over The Exorcist III any day. I'm going to give Legion an A because at the end of the day, I'm still torn about the recast, which isn't the movie's fault in the end. Anyway, tomorrow it's the official prequel to The Exorcist, The Exorcist Beginning, but not the first, which we'll talk about later. See y'all then.